Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to BARCast TV and to another episode of BARCast Daily. It is currently May 28th, 2023. We've got another high-level match for y'all to enjoy, so let's go ahead and get into the replay. So we've got another match on Theta Crystals. I know it's been a while since we've featured this map on the channel. And we have two players who are no stranger either, spawning in the top right corner of the map, playing as the blue pieces. It's Raghna. And his opponent, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, playing as the red pieces, it's Randy. So, should rename the channel Randy versus Raghna or something like that. I know I feature these guys a lot, but they consistently produce a lot of great games, so here we are. Watching two of the best players in BAR go at it again, and this should be a great match. Not sure if I should be looking for kind of like longer macro games, but I would like to see more, kind of T2 matches, so to speak, in these replays, and hopefully we end up there. So buckle up. This should be a good long macro game between these two guys, and just want to say thanks for everyone who's been leaving comments, liking the videos, subscribing to the channel. Really appreciate that. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead, hit the button for me. Let me know what you think, and if I'll see you back here on the channel again. So that's enough of that. Let's look at these opening build orders. It looks like Randy had a little bit of a mistake there, tried to do a little bit of an ambitious vehicle plant after two wind turbines, stalled a little bit on E, and eventually kind of got this produced. So 4 wind turbines, 3 mexes into Land Factory. Meanwhile, his opponent, Raghna, going for the bot lab open. So it's got a nice little balanced economy here. 5 wind turbines, just continuing to assist his bot lab with his commander. Should end up adding on a couple more wind turbines here, and it's got one construction fought first to kind of expand into a grave robber here. This is a big difference between, the bot lab versus vehicle opens, is you have access to those early grave robbers to kind of supplement your economy. And one thing I've noticed recently, or I should have maybe picked up on earlier, is just how much more expensive these bots are E-wise compared to their vehicle counterparts. And on these maps where you have access to reclaim, it can really help you pump out these units faster earlier in the game. Looks like Raghna's going to save this grave robber, so nice job microing that back. Anyways, so to finish my point, on maps where you have access to these crystals, I'm not sure like how much that kind of swings this matchup, bots versus vehicles, into the favor of the bot lab player. I know it can be very difficult to play against these vehicle opens, and not if you're not kind of like tip top with your micro here, especially playing as Cortex, where you kind of have to abuse these grunts' superior range over the blitzes and rovers to kind of like maximize the cost efficiency of these units here. So looks like we got a couple of rovers kind of moving around the map. I really like this one here, parked on the right side, just kind of watching for run bys here. Meanwhile, these two rovers in the back trying to find damage where they can. Looks like one of them ends up going down. I don't think Raghna's aware of this third one just yet. Looks like he's sneaking into the main base for now, or trying to find that early grave robber. Ends up going down. Meanwhile, on Randy's side of the map, looks like he's going to push back these grunts for now, and Raghna's just going to kind of move up and hold this plateau. Take a look at these player views again. Got a nice little engagement here. Raghna trying to slip through with a couple of units. Nice micro there, pulling back that damaged blitz. And he's going to clean up that little run by here on the right side. Meanwhile, on the left, Raghna continuing to look for damage here, sending in some grunts on his opponent's side of the map, looking for construction vehicles, vulnerable mexes where he can. I think he's going to end up finding one. This construction vehicle could end up going down. His sentry turret is not going to be completed anytime soon. Looks like, yeah, this construction vehicle goes down, gets the mechs, and should be backing out. So that was a nice little pickoff there from our blue player. Looks like these grunts are going to get cleaned up perhaps. Looks like one goes down. Other two are retreating. And one grunt sneaks through here. Such low HP. Look at that. Pretty 6 HP grunt. Sneaking through the main base. Is he going to end up getting any kind of additional damage? Yeah, got to pick off a mech here perhaps. Yeah, it goes down. So great job paying for itself. Those grunts are just 36 mass apiece. So really cost efficient unit. If you can kind of get any damage with them, really one mech would pay for itself. And looks like Raghna has got one forward radar here on the high ground. This is a great radar positioning. He's continuing to make some LLTs here. Going to try and prevent run-bys where he can. Is finally stepping out of the main base with his commander and has a double construction bot gang up here on this high ground plateau trying to cap these mexes. So nice little start for both players. We can take a look at these player views. Raghna has got some great radar coverage. This is a nice spot. I haven't seen this radar position here before. It's a great spot, gives you really decent coverage here all the way up to the midpoint of this lake. This little low ground area here, and just a little bit of this radar coverage is cut off by this high ground plateau. Raghna sees this little run by and is moving some grunts into position. You can take a look at Randy's player view. Still in the main base with his commander, still on one factory production, adding on radars and solar collectors. There's one central radar here in the middle, another one a little farther up, kind of giving him coverage of this high ground, and has one construction vehicle capping these mexes on the high ground plateau. So it looks like meanwhile on Raghna's side of the map, these blitzes are going to get dealt with here. Doesn't lose too much, just one mex. It's going to get scooped up by this Resbot here. Great job having that in position to kind of incorporate that mass into your economy. And it's going to peel off one of these construction bots to kind of remake this metal extractor and then go back to assisting this second construction bot. Looks like the game slowed down a little bit. Randy kind of posturing on this low ground here. Raghna sitting on this high ground. And, originally playing this map, I want to say I thought this high ground here on the left side was more important than the right, but unlike the left side of this map, there is a lot of mexes here on this low ground to kind of contest over. So if you can push your opponent past this kind of midpoint here instead of trying to hold this line, you end up picking up an additional 5 mexes that can swing economy in your favor. Like, yeah, this high ground is good to have. It kind of can prevent your opponent from launching attacks onto your side of the map. But really, controlling mess is more important than map position, or like map contesting the map for mexes is more important than like some kind of I guess arbitrary counterattack position. I'm not sure quite how to say that, but yeah, you see both players are really focusing on the left side of the map but completely neglecting the right side where all these mexes are. So kind of curious about that. Would like to know these players' thoughts on why they're choosing to fight over this. I mean, maybe perhaps the rush distance is a little smaller here between both main bases fighting over this high ground. And of course, just like I think as RTS players, we kind of recognize the fact like how important high ground advantage can be. And it looks like Raghna's doing just that. So he's got a lot of LLTs being made here on the high ground. That's going to prevent or make it more difficult for Randy to kind of push Raghna off that position here. So we'll see how that comes into play later on in the game or as this game progresses. Meanwhile, Raghna has moved on to 2-factory production. He's got a vehicle plant here over on the right side of the map. That's going to give him access to some of these heavier tanks as we move more into the mid-game here. And looks like a little bit of a run by here from Randy. Is this going to get cleaned up before it gets past these units? Two of these light tanks are pretty low on health, and is this last one going to go down? Yeah, so great job, Raghna, kind of preventing that run by here. And meanwhile, we got a huge grunt force here moving down onto Randy's side of the map. Is this going to get any damage done? It looks like Randy was in position quite well. He's going to use the speed of these blitzes to kind of clean up these grunts for now and really kind of prevent a pretty serious run by from happening. That was a lot of mass here left over on this side of the map. Looks like about almost 900 mass sitting right there. So I'm wondering if that's going to trigger Randy to produce a bot lab and try and get some grave robbers of his own out. And that last grunt finally goes down. So great job. Looks like we finally got some engagements on the right side of the map. Raghna's moving down. He's got one forward radar here, continuing to add on LLTs as he kind of creeps into this section of the map, and got a little bit of a skirmish here. Not too much of a battle, really kind of inconsequential. Neither player has any of these mexes capped, so really taking an engagement here isn't really accomplishing much. Looks like this right or left side is a little bit undefended. Looks like Raghna is moving some grunts into position, just trying to reinforce these naked LLTs for now. Still have this great radar coverage here. And Randy's adding up some LLTs, so kind of creating a little bit of a no man's land here between both these positions. And it looks like Raghna's trying to meet up with some of his forces here. Stepping forward with some blitzes. That's going to get shooed away. Or excuse me, incisors. It's going to get shooed away by Randy's blitzes. And yeah, both players just kind of poking around. I think as this game slows down, we might see players start transitioning into some of the medium tanks, which we see Randy is producing right now. And perhaps move into some kind of air factory, so maybe that's what Randy's waiting for. He hasn't moved on to 2 factory production quite yet. He's got 4 construction turrets in the main base here, assisting that factory. So a lot of build power. Churning out these medium tanks here, and it looks like one of these construction vehicles is going to go down. Nope. Nice little pullback there from Randy, and these two grunts shouldn't get too much damage done. I'm going to get trapped between these tanks and LLT here. And maybe he might pick off one mechs. Yeah, nice pick off there. So trying to squeeze out as much value as he can out of these units. And meanwhile, on Randy's side of the map, little group of grunts is stepping forward, picking off what they can, sniping an LLT and an LLT, excuse me, metal extractor, and then perhaps retreating back to the high ground. Looks like a couple are going to get shaved off by these stouts for now. And I think this position is a little vulnerable here. Raghna's really focusing on this right side, and Randy's got quite a bit of medium tanks here on the left, so this could end up pushing Raghna off this position. I know LLTs are not too effective against these units, especially when they're power stalling here, so none of these LLTs are firing right now. And that's going to give Randy the control of this hill here, so great job having the game sense to push your opponent off of this position where you can. Meanwhile, on the right side, they have about equal numbers of tanks here, so Raghna is not able to counter back here, winning this position. Yeah, bad moment for Win to die. Definitely something that can happen on these Win maps where you don't have like a kind of like a stable solar collector base. And yeah, all the rest of these LLTs are going to get shaved off by these medium tanks here. So control of this high ground is going to go for Randy for now. I'm wondering how he's going to abuse that. Got a completely undefended metal extractor field here. And we have a couple of mechs still continuing to go down to this one grunt. I don't know how this is still alive. It's got 5 kills. More than paid for itself. Meanwhile, on the right side, Raghna's pushing forward. He's got superior tank numbers, but it's going to run into one of those beamer turrets. I wonder how much that swung the battle in his favor for now. And he's going to end up rotating to the left side here. So yeah, here's some gunships. They have arrived. So Randy's moved into this air factory production. He's got a couple gunships. That's going to help him prevent this run by from getting too much damage done. I'm sure it's going to get some value here. Meanwhile, on the top side of the board, got a big group of medium tanks, and that's going to be hard to stop with just a couple of grunts here. So I'm wondering how Raghna's going to get into position here to defend this run by. Got a lot of economy exposed. Meanwhile, on the bottom left side of the map, these blitzes are continuing to get damage done. They're finding their way into this wind turbine farm of Randy and should end up getting a lot of eco. I mean, these gunships can't be targeted by the blitzes. Or, excuse me, I believe they can, actually. Yeah, these can shoot air units, if I'm not mistaken. But finally, those incisors get cleaned up. Meanwhile, on the top right side of the map, we have all of these medium tanks continuing to get a lot of damage done. So this wind turbine farm is completely vulnerable. These double construction bots are going to go down here, and this plateau is completely cleaned up. So a lot of damage here. And Randy's not done yet. He's sending his gunships across the map. He's trying to find some additional damage, picking off mexes where he can. Raghna scrambling to get up some anti-air defense in his main base. That's going to shoo these gunships away, I'm sure. His grunt is still getting damage. Oh my gosh, 13 kill grunt. He's an absolute general. He's got 157 health. And is going to go down eventually. He's just standing there. That's a lot of damage done from one grunt. Meanwhile, on Raghna's side of the map, these stouts have still not been done with. There's just so many medium tanks. Raghna's scrambling to defend against this. Finally, he's gone into air production of his own. These shurikens are going to help EMP these stouts so his grunts can clean them up. But you need more DPS than that to take out this many grunts here. Or stouts, rather. Looks like Raghna's commander is going to be putting up some Thistle turrets of his own. These gunships are still sharking around, getting damage where they can, and are meeting up with these stouts here. So, yeah, they're EMP'd, but you need units on the field to take out these tanks. There's a lot of damage. A lot of damage from Randy, kind of moving through the map, trying to find all these exposed mexes where he can. And it looks like Raghna's kind of punching back. He's found a little bit of counter damage here. He's got some medium tanks going up against these blitzes for now, and that's not going to be enough DPS to take out these units. Chad Stout here, 7 kills, 2% health. Is it finally going to go down? Yes. These incisors are doing a great job of kind of stalling this attack for now, and meanwhile these gunships are continuing to get damaged. They find these exposed tanks for now, and that should trigger Raghna to kind of retreat. You have so many gunships and a couple fighters to kind of protect against these shurikens here that are making their way towards the front line, trying to help out their comrades secure this bottom right position here. And finally, we see some missile trucks, which can target these air units pretty efficiently. They have those tracking missiles. And where is this game at? We're 15 minutes into it. Looks like Raghna's about 2k mass produced now, but is sitting at about 88 mass income per tick to Randy's 35. So even after all that damage, still has a economy advantage over his opponent. And we have these stouts and thistle tanks that are making short work of these blitzes here of Randy. He's going to need some more medium tanks to kind of reinforce this army. And Randy's got a little bit of mass issues. He's got 1,800 mass in the bank. I'm not sure what he needs or why he's kind of stalling on producing some units for now. Looks like he's finally going to spend some of it here, but still has 1,600 mass in the bank. And Raghna's got some mass as well, too. He's got 1,500 mass. We're taking a look at his player view for now, trying to micro on both sides of the field. Looks like he's got an attack moving to this left ground plateau, trying to take that back from his opponent. And is microing this little battle here in the middle part of the map, so really putting pressure on his opponent. These missile trucks are doing a great job of kind of defending these stouts. Sorry, these stouts versus those gunships here. It looks like a little bit of a bombing run. Was able to get a couple of wind turbines from Randy. Not enough damage, I'd say, to kind of pay for themselves. And we have this continuous battle here on the right side. So Raghna kind of punching back, finding damage here. He's definitely got a more forward position on the map. We have some grunts breaking through, but this commander should be able to stop this in their tracks. I don't think this commander is too at threat right now. I mean, just got a couple of medium tanks here that are making their way towards the commander, but Randy's got a lot of gunships on the map. Don't think he's too much of a threat for now. We have one grunt slip through. Gonna try and find damage where he can. He could end up shaving off this one wind turbine here, and yeah, he's gonna find some undefended mexes here. So this grunt's gonna more than pay for itself. Already takes out one mex. Another one's gonna go down on the high ground here. Meanwhile, Raghna punched a hole through on this high ground here. So he's continuing to slip grunts through into Randy's side of the map. They're gonna be met by some of these medium tanks though. So I don't think this little group of grunts is going to get too much damage here. Looks like this missile truck is kind of going for a little bit of a swim there in the little bit of the pond. And we have a huge reclaim field forming here. Let's take a look at how much mass is sitting right here. So almost 4,000 mass sitting right there on Randy's side of the map. He should be looking to kind of gain control of that position. He's trying to defend himself though. He's got run-bys coming in on the left and the right side, so he's got more to worry about than trying to control a reclaim field. And this game is really speeding up. Both players have some fighter screens forming. Got a lot of medium tanks slipping into the backline here for Randy, so Raghna's going to get a lot more damage on this high ground plateau. One LLT is not enough to stop this many medium tanks. And it's finally kind of cutting off these reinforcement lanes, so he's trying to put some medium tanks in between Raghna and the forces he kind of broke through with on this back side of the map. And there's so much action going on right now. I'm not sure what to follow here. We see a run by here on the backside. You got this continuing engagement in the middle right portion of the map, and Raghna's got these grave robbers trying to suck up this mass as fast as they can here. Want to deny this from his opponent, and a little bit of an air battle going on, so that's going to give Raghna a chance to kind of shield these shurikens from getting taken out here. That's going to slow down these stouts from kind of picking off these grave robbers. It's going to give Raghna a chance to kind of reclaim this field for now, and that's a lot of mass going to the blue player. So it looks like Raghna finally cleaned up that run by on the right side, but we can see how much farther Raghna is being able to push into Randy's side of the map. Like I said, he's got control of these mexes here in the bottom right hand corner of the map, so that should be giving him an eco advantage. Yeah, he's sitting up about 8k metal more produced so far. And excuse me, Randy's kind of struggling to keep control of his map, and meanwhile, looks like Raghna's able to move on a tech 2, so he's got these Sheltons. Shelling these LOTs from afar is taking on all these LOTs of Randy, so that's a lot of mass going down the drain. That's going to open up that alley for an attack here for now. Looks like Randy's finally able to kind of consolidate his forces for now and get control of this little bottom mid corridor of the map. But really, the new fire he's got to put out is these T2 units shelling his LOTs from afar here. It's definitely taking control of this high ground already. Great job, Raghna, moving this radar bot into position. So that's going to give these Sheltons the radar coverage they need to maximize their attack radius. And yeah, issues a fight command here, so he's going to start shelling this position from the high ground here. Is this radar bot going to move forward into his doom? I don't think so. So great control. Looks like Randy's able to kind of push Raghna off to this like bottom right hand corner of the map, but really the big threat now is T2. I don't see Randy moving it, or yeah, Randy moving into Tech 2 so far, and he's got a big problem here. These high tech units are going to start massing up in numbers here, and I have no idea where this game is at. I mean, Randy's counterattacking on the right side, but these Sheltons are doing a great job of clearing out this what is this, the mid-left portion of the map. Kiting back against these blitzes here. I'm not sure how well Sheltons do against blitzes. Looks like fairly well. A little bit slower moving, so Randy's able to close the distance on these T2 units here, and he should end up taking a couple of them out. Got some cheeky grave robbers rezzing these LOTs. Rezzing these LOTs that Randy had put up, so Raghna doing his best to gain control of that high ground. You have more medium tanks kind of completely rotating around, finding their way back to this high ground perhaps, shaving off mexes where they can. And Randy's commander is a little bit exposed. I see a lot of medium tanks here. Not sure if Raghna knows that commander is sitting there, but he could take out the commander with proper micro. Have a lot of grunts stepping forward. Shuriken's paralyzing these medium tanks for now, so this little incursion is going to get cleaned up. Meanwhile, on the right side of the map, Raghna's commander should end up taking out these medium tanks. 2 D guns are going to take care of those tanks for now. On the south side, Raghna's moved through, busted through Randy's defenses here, and should be able to get into the back line here and shave off a lot of these mexes. All these anti-air turrets, get a couple of these construction bots perhaps, and still we have these Sheltons and a lot of T1 units kind of pouring over this hill for now, so I think this game is close to ending here. Randy's kind of scrambling to defend himself. He's got some units on the bottom side of the map trying to take care of these LOTs, but look at this T1 force kind of pouring over the hill for now. Got Sheltons defending these grunts, and I don't know how Randy's going to be able to defend against this. We have a couple of bombers trying to defend himself, but Fiends and grunts are going to end up destroying his main base, pouring through the map, running into the main base for now, and I don't think Randy's going to be able to stop this. He's got all his production's going to end up going down. These Fiends are going to make short work of everything in the main base here. Even have some fighters from Raghna shooing away those bombers, and that's it. Randy taps out. So great game from both players. A lot of action, a lot of run-bys, and you can see why these guys are so high up on the leaderboard. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next replay.